Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Okay. Thank you so much for attending the session. We are going to talk about our own experience of implementation in Dr. Reddy's as a project manager, as end users. Okay. Dr. Reddy's is a pharmaceutical company. When I say integrated, it produces APIs to formulations. API is basically the basic drug required for doing the formulation, which is capsule or tablets, and we also manufacture capsules and tablets, and we are into three core business. One is pharmaceutical services. We service innovator companies as per their needs. We also supply APIs to innovator companies and generic players, and we do global generics business, means we do formulations world over. We supply in US, we supply in India, we supply in Europe, rest of the world. And we are also having one incubating business, that is proprietary products. Proprietary products means we do differentiated products with complex formulations. Okay? And IPDO is one which develops the product for every organization, be it global generics, be it API, be it pharmaceutical services. Okay? Let's talk about IPDO a bit. IPDO has all the expertise required for product development, be it R&D, analytical, process, scale up, every function is located in IPDO. Okay? And IPDO has strong project managers background, means in 2003 we have introduced project management concept. We trained project managers thoroughly in project management approach. From that time onwards we are doing multiple experiments with project management approach. Okay? Project managers has officially defined responsibility to deliver the project. They are just not logistic managers. They have accountability in terms of technical brilliance and then delivery, both. So let's understand our journey in terms of TOC way. Why change, what to change to, how to cause the change, and how to create boogie. Why change? When our CEO interacted with Dr. Eli Goldratt and the other team, we have actually gone through series of workshops to identify what was the problem in our organization. There are some problems associated with our organization. There is no formal original due date of the product. Every year the product due date keeps on changing. And obviously there is no measurement on what is due date performance of products. Okay? Cycle time. Cycle times are significantly higher because the products are introduced and frequently they are on hold, and again new product is introduced. Because of this, the cycle times are significantly higher. And throughput was inconsistent. Throughput was actually high in the last fiscal of the year than the beginning. And we don't have any formal way to acknowledge how many projects we can take. There is no formal definition of R&D capacity. Because of this, what was happening is the projects were just like that introduced, and after introduction of the projects was not progressing. Whenever there is a problem in progressing of the project, whenever we are stuck, we used to introduce a new project in place of existing project. And the resources are actually stressed out because they are working in more projects than capacity, and they are actually blamed for slipping the due dates. So though they are delivering the best, though they are working overtime, they are very much stressed out because of this bad name. So what is that we wanted to change? We wanted to change the way we define the capacity of R&D. We wanted to change the way we wanted to plan the projects, templates, project plans, the way we wanted to execute the projects physically, the way we wanted to conduct the project reviews with top managers and project managers, and finally the key measurements. We want to change how IPDO is measured in terms of achieving their performance. All these things we wanted to change. When we say we wanted to change, how do we change? The obvious choice is viable vision. So in 2008, Dr. Reddy's rolled out viable vision with the help of Goldratt Consulting. And then CCPM is implemented in IPDO with reference to rapid new product development. We wanted to develop reliably and rapidly the new products. So I am going to talk about only CCPM in this particular presentation. How to cause the change is obvious choice is S&T tree only. S&T tree is actually customized for Dr. Reddy's, and rolled out to top management to understand strategy and tactic tree of each box and ask for reservations. If they have any reservations, the reservations are actually clarified, and we moved on to lower level layers, be it project manager or some of the times it is to team member level also. So I am going to talk about what are all the key enablers for CCPM. All CCPM elements from reducing bad multitasking to PUGI we have implemented. I am not going to detail out all, but how fast we are able to do it, how reliably we are able to do it, how sustainable we are at the implementation, I am going to talk about. What are all the key enablers? First key enabler is project management structure existence in the organization. Because project management structure is formally defined in Dr. Reddy's, we could get through the buy-in from the project managers very easily. And second is top management's commitment is demonstrated. Our chairman himself has circulated the frozen projects list to everyone, so that no one has any complaints about this project is frozen, this project is dropped, this project is continued. And their commitment is demonstrated in conducting the meetings. Freezing is a big exercise, but with the help of top management, we could freeze 40% of the projects in the first 1 month itself, which has resulted in significant benefit for us. And they helped in terms of accepting the staggered date. It is not easy to do staggering, it is not easy to accept the staggered dates. But their commitment ensured the staggered dates are accepted and the project plans are into concerto. And task updation. Task updation, 95% of the task updation every day is not an easy thing. Top managers, executive vice president of IPDO personally called up the people who are defaulting on task updation and understood what is the help they needed. Is it a coaching issue? Is it a discipline issue? He personally monitored, which ensured the success of this particular task updation. Project progress reviews. These are every fortnight. He used to personally review the projects, all the projects one by one, and he used to coach, personally ask for what help they need in order to achieve the success, in order to overcome the problems or obstacles. And we have dedicated team to do the full kitting. Actually, the full kitting is done by the teams who are into execution. But in our system, we picked up the experts from execution teams and then created a dedicated team of full kits. These experts will take over the project from business development or marketing, ensure full kits are done, and then the projects are released to development teams. 90% of the projects are released with proper full kit only. The quick results we got after freezing exercise is done, it is tremendous. The performance of DDP immediately jumped to 80% from nowhere. We have created dedicated facilitation teams, a combination of experts from technology, combination of project management experts. We took certified project managers by PMI, and also we took the product development experts into one team, dedicated the team for 2 years for rolling out this implementation. And they actually helped in designing the project templates, creating the project plans, and they trained the project managers themselves along with Goldratt consulting team, task managers and resource managers. The training by in-house team along with GC, that helped actually in terms of buy-in. Training, hand-holding and mentoring. I can name Woded Cohen, I can name Ali Shagenham, I can name Dr. Eli Goldratt himself. All these people actually helped, actually trained us physically. They came to Hyderabad and then trained us, and we got immense benefit from the training. We got immense confidence in terms of executing the project successfully. But still, is it just enough to roll out CCPM? We need to embark on process of ongoing improvement. How do we actually do process of ongoing improvement? Is it just collecting the delay reasons, or do we learn from past mistakes or learnings? We have learned few. I am going to talk about measuring the flow, WIP control, buffer indicators, execution analysis. Measuring the flow, I request Mickey to explain.
Okay. Everyone, do you hear me? Working? Okay. So you got a very nice demonstration of what was happening in the project in the first year and a half. Actually, from Goldratt Consulting side, I entered the project about a year and a half into from the time it started. And how many of you are familiar with Ray's presentation on the enthusiasm curve? None? Okay, there's a very interesting part that he says about the different levels of enthusiasm in a project, and especially a project like this, which is a viable vision, that you have your ups and downs during the course of the project. Any one of you who have led long-term projects knows about that. So they achieved tremendous results by taking really important and significant actions at the start of the project. But then, at some point, when we come to discuss the PUGI, there was a lot of struggle still with the IPDO team, and it was feeling like we're going around in circles and we don't see a way out. A significant part of the project, about 60%, I think, were constantly being in the red. Okay, so we've done the choking, the full kit, and the CCPM planning and other elements, but still, a significant part of the project are in red. Now, generally, we talk about the buffer management, and in the buffer management, we take all the red projects and trying to develop corrective actions and corrective plan for each one of the projects. But somehow it looked like every project that we are able to recover, a new project now is emerging and becoming red. So we were going somewhat in circles, and the team started to be very frustrated from the fact that the level of the red is not reducing, and we are somewhat stagnating in the new abilities that we were able to achieve. Now, we were looking, yes, what do we do in this case? Okay, there are several options you can explore. For example, can we choke again? Again, if we have stagnation in the result, we have a lot of projects in red, some would suggest, let's do another choke, okay? Another area, it says, okay, let's now really do buffer management. Okay, what does it mean really do buffer management? Okay, we are going to do a thinking process analysis to understand why projects enter into the red, a lot of technical issues, what is the source of the technical issue. But all this work was, in a way, very frustrating and the dirty work. And also, we wanted to identify something that is relatively simple to implement. Okay? Although we know it's tough work, we like things to be simple and nice. So the auditor of the project, which was Ishaya Schlag, sent me an article about something he was doing in car repair in the US. Okay? I have to admit that on the first glance of reading this article, it looked like it's a very nice article, very innovative, but how the hell this has to do with pharmaceutical projects? Okay, you are talking about a car repair, something that is relatively easy, very standard, and to take this concept into that, I didn't really see how. But then I realized something that is very different in the way in our S&T we approach production and project management, okay? In the production, after we do the choke and the buffer management, there is an element that says CCRs, right? Identify, remove CCRs, okay? So we have a notion that we will have in the process, although everything is properly choked, we will still have some disturbances to flow that will result in accumulation of WIP in different areas, okay? What we call a wandering bottleneck, something that is moving from place to place. And then I realized, why would it be different in a project environment, any project environment, okay? We're still following a process, okay? We're still going to have Murphy effects, and especially in projects like pharmaceutical development, which is so unpredictable, okay? So we looked in the process and we said, let's try to see if we can map the process, just like we do in production, and try to monitor each one of the phases as bins. Now, this is just a demonstration. It's not really the processes from Dr. Reddy's. Yeah. But this is what we wanted to do. take each one of the phases and control it as a bin. Okay, what do we mean by bin? It means that each one of the phases we are going to monitor, first of all, how many projects at a certain point we have in the phase, what is the projects that are waiting in queue to enter the phase, and over a period of time, we will also look for each one of the phases, what is the rate of completion and the cycle time. Okay? The cycle time is not really here, but we were looking to see, to identify which one of them is really not performing. And it was very clear what the system should achieve from the targets that were set by the management. It should complete something like 1 project per week. Okay? We were targeting to arrive at around 50 plus projects per year. So when you look at that and you start to map, immediately, month by month, you will see that the accumulation of the WIP, work in progress, and the week work in queue is changing. And this gives the management the focus of where do we need now to put our attention to remove the flow blockage. Now, I know it looks simple, but this is what I like about it. It's very simple, very logical, and if I can just visualize for you a meeting before and after, before we were doing buffer management meetings, we would sit in the room, the management, together with the project managers, delivery heads, etc. We will go project by project, very depressing. Why this is not working well, what can we do? Why this is not working well, what can we do? Chasing something that looks like it will never end. And now, so the enthusiasm also is, and the energy level are very low. Now when you look at that, you know that you're focusing your attention to take 1, 2, 3 actions that will really make a difference. And you will see the results immediately, starting to implement. Okay, so if, for example, you identify this phase, what you see here, as a problematic area. Why? So many projects are waiting here in queue, and the conversion rates, the rate of completion, not the conversion rate, I'm sorry, the rate of completion is very low. You know that if I will take some actions here, the effect on the flow is going to be immediate. Things start to move. Now, at the end, you will see the results. The results were quite amazing, and realizing that in a pharmaceutical company, the project, you're delivering it internally. Okay? Your stakeholders are internal. You don't have a client that is waiting. Okay? So if a client is waiting, it is relevant to do it, but you still should focus mainly on the due date. Here we open the scope a bit. Again, this is a machine. This is a very big company, $2 billion company, and the essence, the core of the company is the project management. Whatever you are going to be able to file as new drugs this year will determine the top level of your capabilities 3-4 years down the line, okay? Because it takes time. So looking at this and opening the bottleneck gave the company the focus it's needed, the attention to go and do a real PUGI, taking it to the next level. Okay?
Function heads involvement.
This?
Okay. This is one more change we have done. Instead of using staggering, we have actually restricted the WIP in each of the portfolio. Sorry. Okay. Work in process is actually determined as a limiting factor. Each portfolio, we determine how many projects they can handle at any point of time. It is only on completion of one project we have released another project. This is one more modification from the past learning we have done. Okay. We measure the results of due date performance, cycle time, throughput, and value every month. This information is formally circulated to all the stakeholders of marketing, business development, projects, delivery environment. And these are the rules. We ensure the task updation is at least up to 90% every day. And this information is circulated on a monthly basis. WIP is circulated on a monthly basis. Release of the new project information is circulated. So these are the 3 rules we strictly follow and implement. And no deviation is allowed from missing task updation or increasing WIP or releasing a new project without satisfying the condition of completion of existing project. So these 3 are non-negotiable rules for us. And also while doing buffer management, we were actually thinking of what are all the indicators will give us whether buffer management is happening or not. We identified few. One is total delay of top 10 projects. If I take the sum total of top 10 projects, it should continuously decrease. Otherwise, we are not following the priorities of the projects. This is one. Second is percentage of number of red projects. It should be continuously down. It should be reduced. Another one is 100% buffer consumed projects. This should be minimal. And on a fortnightly basis, we take the stock of the projects which are improved, which are worsened, which are not changed. And we focus on the projects which are worsened in the order of highest delay. So these are our some rules and results. And this is how we do root cause analysis. On a period of every quarter, we take the tasks which are actually causing biggest penetration into buffer. Each penetration, we will identify top 5 penetration, we will identify. In this particular case, if optimization delay is the top penetration, what is actually leading to optimization delay, we analyze. These are the 4 reasons under that. Under these 4 reasons, these are another set of reasons. And these are the reasons accumulating the delay of these projects. P1 is a project, P2 is a project, P3 is a project. After doing this root cause analysis, we take corrective action suitable for the delay. This is what we do as part of process of ongoing improvement, POOGI. These are some of our results. Our cycle time is reduced by 44% in one division, 28%, 22%. Our throughput is increased by 80% in one division. It is 250% in another division. It is 25% in this. And DDP is increased to 60%. In fact, it has increased to 75% today. DDP is increased to 78%. Here it is 80%. So these are all the results we got after implementation of CCPM. And the results are sustainable. We are going ahead. Any questions?
You wanted to say something?
Okay. Now I have the privilege of introducing Mr. Dr. Pradeep Ghosh, who has delivered 90 million worth of the products using CCPM principles.
Yeah, at the beginning, actually, we are very much skeptical whether this will work or this will not work, this CCPM, because pharma sector is like that, where too much uncertainty is involved. You make one thing certain, so another things will become uncertain. Specifically in the R&D environment, and when we are talking about the very complex molecules, their uncertainty level is too high. But when we started implementing this CCPM, we really got a very good results. And result is like that, that's why he mentioned our DDP was increased to 80%. We have delivered all top value projects, all complex projects last 2-3 years. Thanks.
Could you go back to your slide where you had the different phases? Right there, one of those slides there. in your multitasking, when you eliminated multitasking, are the same resources used in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4?
No. Actually, resources are having intercompatibility, but they are not the same resources used.
So that was one way you reduced your
We
multitasking.
reduce the multitasking. If possible, if one resource in one phase is having more load, we can shift the resources from another function to that function. That compatibility, multi-skilling possibility is there, but not multitasking.
So you had the capability of, with your resources, shifting them across the different
Absolutely.
phases
Absolutely.
to balance flow.
It's the flexibility we have built in.
So in the second round of implementation, did you define each phase as a project?
No.
So the project
Everything
was
is project. Each phase is part of project.
Okay.
Just for convenience, we have shown 4 phases only, but each phase is not a project.
Okay.
Each project cycle time is around 1 to 1.5 years.
And that was modeled as one full project.
One full project. There is no partial project.
I think this is a good opportunity to share with you some of the developments or thinking of developments that we are doing now. We see more and more in environments where we have multiple projects where even though you have variability in terms of the performance of the project when it will end, the activities themselves on the projects between one project to the other are more or less the same, like the phases. Okay, you have the testing, the filing. So in such environment, CCPM of course gives enormous benefits, but in addition to it, there is much to improve by analyzing the infrastructure, the organization, if you wish, where the projects are flowing through. So if you look at this chart, for example, the numbers are the numbers of projects at the various phases. And we're trying to identify, okay, which phase done by which resources is the CCR here. Okay? And this view of trying to improve the infrastructure over which the projects are flowing, okay, this is only one of the steps you're taking. Another step is how do we ensure the buffer of full kits? Who is defining the full kit? How do you reduce the handshakes? Handshake meaning that you're transferring the project from one resource to another resource. This is a critical point that normally creates rework. So how do you reduce it? How do you consistently identify the CCRs? All of this is with a view of the infrastructure, not the individual project, but the infrastructure where all the projects are running through. Okay, and you can do it in every environment where you have multiple projects and the activities themselves between one project to the other are not so different.
So these 4 phases are the standard development phases for pharmaceuticals, and it
Yes.
includes clinical trials and the whole launch in different countries or whatever?
For example purpose, we have shown 4 phases, but there are 6 to 7 stages which are common for generic product development, not for clinical trials. We are into generic product development, we are not into discovery.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.